Here is the stats, which just shows exactly how close this game is. Only big difference there is probably the handling errors. 6 from Paarl Roos, where not one so far from Paarl Gymnasium, as well as the defense. Look at all those tackles from both teams, and not too many missed. Only 10 from Paarl Gym, 11 from Paarl Roos. And penalties as well. That's going to play a huge role in this game with it being so close. Territory possession, all very similar.
Really struggling to spend time in the red zone of Paarl Gym, aren't they there, Paarl Roos? I think they had 6% in the opposition 22-meter line, and that is not the way to score tries. You don't have to tell these guys how to score tries, though. Paarl Roos have been scoring plenty this season. Their fullback has converted 54 of them already in 8 games.
Yeah, and just look how close it has been over the years. The last 3 years, though, have been won by Paarl Gym. So, as it stands at the moment, going on to their 4th in a row. Paarl Roos just winning one out of the last 5. So they'll be wanting to put that right.
It's been a tough time for a very long time. In fact, since the year 2000, there have been 18 matches, and Paarl Gym have won 13 of those, and just 3 for Paarl Roos.
Yeah, and 39 days to go till the FIFA World Cup. Well, our 2 kickers here today, Charles Janssen and Johan Mostert, have been pretty dead-eye with the kicking boots as well. So maybe they could make it there in 39 days.
Yeah, if only South Africa were competing at that World Cup, Bush.
True, true.
Soon enough, we will be back. But for now, we have a wonderful second half of rugby to offer you. 35 more minutes of high-quality schoolboy action, 2 unbeaten teams. Kate Voliter gets us back underway. Can Paarl Roos rise to the occasion? Can Paarl Gym continue to control this match? Charging in there is Pierre Siebert. During the halftime break, we should let you know the number 4 for Paarl Gym, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, limped off the field as well. He went to the Grand Coma week in 2016. We wish him well with his recovery. On the field is number 20, Juan Wilson for Paarl Gym, who have the ball now in the hands of Preben Verlieren. Janssen. Downfield to Voliter. He spreads it to his number 10, Mostert. Paarl Roos not giving any thought to kicking, but the chase line from Paarl Gym makes it very difficult for them to secure ball at the breakdown. A number of turnovers already in this match for both sides. Mink Shrink, the occasional loose head prop. Hands on the ball from Paarl Gym, another turnover at breakdown time.
Yeah, that is unbelievable work from Dean Nivout. Got in there nice and early. Had to deal with a couple of the Paarl Roos players trying to clean him out, but he wasn't moving. And it is Janssen who's going to find his touch. That was a good kick chase from Paarl Gymnasium. A good kick from Janssen downfield. And from the ensuring line, this Nivout. Hands on the ball there. There's no ways he was going to let it go. Great stuff for him, earning his team a penalty.
5 in.
Enormous opportunity here for Paarl Gym to add to their lead. Delaray Nell to put the ball into the line out. Nell finds his man once more. He really has an extremely straight throw, very reliable.
Use it once.
What a counter maul from Paarl Roos. They have completely dismantled everything that Paarl Gym were building there. Turnover ball.
Yeah, that's really clever play by Jared Cairns, going through the middle of the maul, and once it did go to ground, he just lay and almost rolled over the ball to make sure that it didn't come out. It was a maul. So once that ball goes down to ground, you'll see him just roll over that ball to make sure that that ball doesn't come out. So great stuff from Cairns.
Get a straight line here, please. Same that side, straight line, please. Sold out there.
At the recent Waterkloof Festival, Jared Cairns to continue. Jared Cairns, he scored a hat-trick of tries in the first half against Waterkloof. And Paarl Roos deep inside their own half now. Brendan Fenter charging at the line, but it's very seldom they evade the first tackle. Man over the ball here for Paarl Gym. They thought they had it. It's the same man again, Dean Nivout, wearing the 6th jersey for Paarl Gym and looking a lot like Heinrich Rousseau right now. Paarl Roos to the open side. They come with Henry Jacobs. Some aggressive carries in the first half. Look at that, putting the man straight to deck. That was well enjoyed by the Paarl Roos faithful who are watching directly onto that piece of play.
No, you're off your feet.
Once again, a great challenge at the breakdown by Paarl Gym. They've clearly targeted that area from Paarl Roos to stop them getting the quick ball that allows them to unleash their extremely dangerous backline. We have not been able to see them in full flight by any stretch of the imagination all afternoon. Sending the ball downfield is Mostert. And straight back at them from Tiaan Swanepoel. Very clever in when they pick when to run and when to kick are Paarl Gym. Especially so Tiaan Swanepoel, the number 15, he was at the Grand Coma week last year. Good run from Henry Jacobs. Paarl Roos will really want to make this possession count, entering the half of Paarl Gym right now. And they have been here many times, but not into the 22-meter line of Paarl Gym often enough to create the pressure which they surely would like to. A high tackle is the call from referee Nathan Schwartz. And a great run this as Paarl Roos continue to march forward. Jared Cairns this time. Can they create some momentum? The ball is quick, but the defense is immaculate, stopping the man right in his tracks. The pick and go. Trying to retain momentum, Paarl Roos.
It's over now.
Clear call from the referee. Now the pressure is on Paarl Roos to be accurate. And Mostert gets around the first man off the fingertips of Tiaan Pretorius, the man who played for the South African School 7 side just last year. He also possesses tremendous pace, knocking that ball on. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Paarl Roos. They did have advantage for a penalty.
Time off.
But as soon as that advantage was called over, they decided to take it down the back line. Probably a poor decision, you know. Paarl Gymnasium had a few numbers in the backs there. They were doing well, keeping it amongst their big boys, were Paarl Roos, so maybe they should have let them have 1 or 2 more goes with it. And only then, once you do have an overlap or you do get that nice quick ball where you're running onto it and the defenders are going backwards, then call for it and have a go.
Was a bit of a head scratcher from Paarl Roos. But they will be very frustrated with the way things have gone down so far. 5 minutes gone here in the second half. Time is ticking away for them to really start hitting their straps. And once they do look such a dangerous side. That's Delaray Nell who was injured there. But he's walked straight back into the fray.
Yeah, Henry Jacobs has been really good for Paarl Roos. He's been really strong in the scrum. He's been good on defense and carried a lot of the ball as well. The tight head tap for Paarl Roos.
Another man in the elite player development squad which prepares players for selection for SA schools and baby box, but that is a tight head. And at schoolboy level, that is absolute gold. Seldom seen, and Paarl Roos are on the attack here.
Backwards.
Could not control the ball. Pounced upon by Bobby Alexander. The sharpness of mind. No offside lines. As Brendan Fenter tried to place that ball back, he pounced upon it. And an enormous opportunity for Paarl Roos goes a-begging.
Yeah, it does go begging, but they right on attack now. 5-meter line out for them. And was Charles Janssen. He was forced onto his left boot. Seen him kick a few off the left today, but that time under a lot of pressure.
Open.
Not quite getting the distance he would have liked off his right.
JJ Kotza. Have not seen enough of this man today. With ball in hand, and he finds his man, Mikado Dupree, in the line out, rising high. Paarl Roos try to set the maul, but Paarl Gym have dismantled the first line. However, they do manage to keep the maul on its feet. Do they have control at the back? Same maul, and now they have numbers. A man has come around in a cynically offside position. Paarl Roos powering towards the line. Over they go, Jared Cairns.
Yeah, and the pressure taking its toll for Paarl Roos. Good line-out drive from them. They had the advantage as well. They just kept it going. It's Jared Cairns. He deserves a try. He's been really good for Paarl Roos. Yeah, just the way Paarl Roos would have wanted to start the second half. Getting onto the scoreboard first.
Perfect for the neutral as well, Butch.
Yeah, it's been incredible, this game. Hasn't been a big scoring game like we've seen from both these teams against the other opposition they have been playing. Now, we've mentioned the defense has been good.
Voliter. A clean strike. The flags are raised. Paarl Roos lead 13 points to 10.
8 minutes gone.
Yeah, definitely his toughest kick of the afternoon. And same result for him. Straight through the middle. Herman Haynes was also having a look to try get his hands on that ball to maybe get the try. In the end, just helping his flanking partner, Ken's drive over.
If you want to tell your kids about the try you scored in the derby, you've got to score the try, Butch. Got to get your hands on that ball. Kickoff. Charles Janssen continues to show his prowess with the boots. That has been knocked on immediately. Hard break for the men in maroon as Paarl Gym have a chance to apply pressure.
Yeah, so important, that restart once you've scored points. Plenty of time. It's just in and out of the breadbasket. Paarl Gym back on attack. Paarl Roos scrum has been dominant though. We've just seen a tight head from them.
Crouch.
So they'll want another big scrum.
Fine.
It is time to show some of those famous Rugby guts. If Paarl Gym want to overcome Paarl Roos in this match, is that a second tight head in one match? That has got to be troubling for Paarl Gym. It has been a complete turnaround here in the second half, and these scrums are dismantling. How they're coming back on the side of the boys from Stellenbosch. Kick over the top from Zanderpoorter. Pressure on Paarl Gym. Well fielded by Jacobs. What kind of a brilliant match has this man had? Everything he does correctly. Stravino Jacobs, Academy Week representative for Western Province last year. But Paarl Gym on the attack. Good options, keeping them open. David Kellerman, and Kellerman continues taking on Voliter. They're trapped on the touchline now with Paarl Gym. Continue to have chances, but the penalty has gone against them. And those are Paarl Roos boys celebrating.
Yeah, and you've got to give huge credit to Regan van der Westhuizen, the number 13 for Paarl Roos. He's been outstanding in defense, especially in that last movement. Touch is found. It was a brilliant break from the Paarl Gymnasium captain, David Kellerman. Just the shove of the ball on the inside, on the outside. Brilliant handoff. Tries to go on the outside. And look at that tackle from Van der Westhuizen. Incredible stuff from him.
Numbers 5-4.
While that replay was playing, we had a line-out. Paarl Roos have a free kick resulting from that line-out, and they're straight onto the attack. Boerta to Venter. He looks to be looking after that. Tentatively, directly into touch.
Yeah, pity for Venter. It was a brilliant option. Plenty of room behind the Paarl Gymnasium backline. Just overcooking it a little bit.
I haven't quite managed to keep Paarl Gym trapped in their own half in the same way Paarl Gym kept them trapped in their half in the first.
5.
Yeah, it's true. Those kicks you just need to keep in play, and you'll be doing that.
Another great throw into the line-out from Delaray Nell, and Paarl Gym benefit from a clean ball. Putting it to great use is Wilson, man who came off the bench to replace Jean-Jacques Rousseau.
Release Declan!
Clear call from the referee, not adhered to by Mink Sharink. Penalty to Paarl Gym, who trailed by 3 points. Interesting to see which way they go with this decision.
Yeah, surely they're going to knock it over. Yeah.
Holes.
That's all.
No water.
Janssen, he was having a look at the line. He wanted to kick it out into touch. Yeah, just no clear release from Sharink.
Butch, I think it's your Sharks that have made everybody kick at posts again. People were just going for the touchline, a la New Zealand, for the past few games, really, of Super Rugby, if not seasons.
Yeah, we've also seen the Bulls also opting to go for the line a bit more than they used to.
Janssen just make sure that he takes his full allotment of time to take his kicks, and he has been very successful here this afternoon. Janssen. The flags are raised once more, and we are level. 13 points apiece after 48 minutes.
Well, maybe both teams will still be unbeaten come the end of the game.
Not a bad deal for the both of them. But certainly one of these sides will love to walk away with the bragging rights here this afternoon.
Yeah. So now a big restart this for both teams. Paarl Gym will want to make sure they handle this ball and clear their lines.
Great take. Juan Bierkes rising up with support. More called by referee Schwartz. Paarl Gym driving us forward. Paul Roos need to commit and make sure this doesn't get out of hand and start marching upfield. That they have done. Some splintering from Paarl Gym, and they have found a space, but JJ Kotze is there to shut it down.
Release you off the feet, release the ball.
Just fiddle with it on the ground. Seen by the referee and stopped. Great pressure on this kick chase. But the tackle is not completed, and Matthew Cordy, now wearing the number 8 jersey where he was previously wearing the 19, is able to get Paul Roos back onto the front foot. Mink Sherink,
release you off your feet.
The part-time prop, the full-time talented rugby player. Once again, Zanderboorte is disrupted at the base of the ruck. Paarl Gym have certainly targeted ruck time to disrupt the Paul Roos flow, and they've done so very effectively. Bear in mind, Paul Roos have been scoring an average of 70 points per game, and right now they are stuck on 13. Mink Sherink with the carry once more, just beyond the halfway line of Paul Roos. The pick and go is aggressive and does earn some meters through JJ Kotze. Wonderful continuity from Paul Roos. Hanru Jacobs carrying, and now they do have men committed to ruck time, making sure that they clear the ball quickly and supporting their players at the ruck. Zanderboorte, the scrum half, has come nowhere close to the last few balls, as it has been forwards with the pick and go, time after time. Trying to get over it again is Dean Nieuwoud, but he did not release the tackled player. Finally to the back line they go. Mostert gets it away to Venter. Venter cannot find the pass to the outside.
Stay on.
Rolling over in the ruck, and possession is once again secured for Paul Roos onto their 11th phase.
Let it go and release the ball.
Be very encouraging for the Maroon Machine. To the open side, keeping the ball available very impressively was Matthew Cordy. And if he manages to present this ball as well, he will have done very well. Let's just wait for the referee's words.
Time off. 6 come here. 6 come here. I need to explain this first. I need to explain. Captain, please. Captain, I need to explain this, right? You're going in there past the ball, then you're off your feet. You need to release the ball, right? Your man cannot enter the tackle like that and clean it out on his neck. So I'm going to have to reverse the penalty, right? But you can't do that, okay? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Okay, so just the only thing we can do to get them off the ball.
No, I called a release. I was going to give you the penalty.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, sir.
No explanation could make that any more clear.
His arms.
Yeah, and I sometimes feel the pain of JJ Kotze at that breakdown. I know the replay will probably show the clean out around the neck, but it's pretty hard to get anywhere else around the body.
Next time I'll blow the penalty quicker for you.
Pretty tough one for both teams.
Well, I said that Nieuwoud was
play
looking like Heinrich Passau. Perhaps he was looking more like Matthew Pocock. And here are Paarl Gym on the attack. And that is Juan Wilson, second half replacement. To the open side, the impressive Bobby Alexander, number 9 for Paarl Gym. Alexander Paarl Jim really spreading the ball far more here in the second half, and that's Francois Marais to the outside to Etzebeth. A powerful ball runner Etzebeth is. He buys enough time for his players to arrive and support. And Paarl Jim do secure possession inside the 22-meter line of Paul Roos. They've been struggling for attacking play in the second half as compared to the first. And this represents a big opportunity. Peter Siebert with that ball carry. And Johnson with a rare run, cutting back to the inside.
Counter-ruck's good.
The counter-ruck is good, and Paul Roos all over this. The aggression has told, and Robbie Rogers secures the ball on the ground for Paul Roos. Numbers to the blind. Well worked away from the first two players, and Numbers on the outside. The grabber through. Who's got the toe to get there? Remy Engelbrecht is after this. But Jacobs gets back for Paarl Jim. Clears into touch. What pressure from Paul Roos.
And what play from Sharing. It was the big lock who made that break. And not only did he make the break, he put through that kick, almost a banana kick from the big lock forward. Incredible skills shown.
Numbers.
And now he's really put his team in a really, really good scoring opportunity.
This is their captain, JJ Kotza. Short ball to the front, very clever, but Henry Jacobs is marked up.
No hands!
What a pivotal tackle from Preben Verleeren for Paarl Jim, but Paul Roos remain inches out from the Paarl Jim line. The pick and go, so hard to see even. Working in the smallest of spaces.
Short.
Short is the call from referee Schwartz. Paul Roos are looking to muscle this over the line. The hand is up, it's try time in the corner, and Paul Roos will celebrate. A try on 55 minutes just about.
Yeah, and I haven't seen, let's hope that this try scorer is Sharing, because he deserves that try after his break and a brilliant kick from him as well. There's been a lot of good play from the Paarl Roos forwards this afternoon. A lot of their good stuff has come from their pack. Their scrum's been outstanding, and now they get themselves another try. And it is that man, Sharing. Doesn't he deserve that try? Great stuff from him.
The number 4, who at times plays at number 3. What a spectacular talent.
No, he could also play with a 1 in front of those numbers. 13, 14, 12.
Couldn't see the number on his back when he was running. I assumed it was a center. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, and by far, Cade Volhouter's toughest kick of the afternoon.
This young man can kick. I saw him at the Wilde Klaver Festival. 54 conversions this year already. Up it goes again. Over it goes again. Cade Volhouter is an absolute sniper from the tee.
Now that he certainly is. Brilliant conversion. And a good try as well from Paarl Roos. Taking them into the lead now. 20 points to 13.
Paarl Jim took a moment to gather themselves under the post there to make sure everybody's on the same page on how they can go forth in this match and still overcome. Currently separated by 7 points, which is the lead that Paarl Jim had in the first half. To the open side come Paarl Jim, skipping out a number of players, and the bounce pass lands in the hands of Francois Marais. Holding his head on the ground is Regan van der Westhuizen for Paarl Roos. He is such a crucial member of this squad. The counter-rack is spectacular, and Paarl Roos come away with it. The aggression at the breakdown today from both sides has been impressive. The battle at the breakdown has been a seesaw one, swinging from side to side, while the battle at the scrum has swung very much in the favor of Paarl Roos in the second half, and perhaps is one of the reasons that they now enjoy a 7-point lead. Open side for Paarl Roos. Mostert finally using his boot in the 10 position. And that is a punishing kick. Driving Tiaan Swanepoel all the way back into the left-hand corner. His kick goes only as far as Cade Volhouter. And Mostert is on the run down the touchline. Man on the inside is Remy Engelbrecht. The try line was beckoning, and he has gobbled it.
Oh, no. Old boys all disappointed. But it's brilliant counter-attack from Paarl Roos. Started by Volhouter. And he went to that man that I mentioned earlier, Mostert. When he's got ball in hand, he's really dangerous. Plenty of pace. The vision to see Remy Engelbrecht on the inside. Maybe just looking at the try line a bit too early. Remy Engelbrecht. Wouldn't that have been a real game changer, that try? Now, it's been amazing to see how well Mostert has played with ball in hand, but also how he's controlled the game. We've seen Paarl Roos running the ball from almost everywhere, and as soon as they do take the lead, Mostert just starts plugging the corners and making sure that Paarl Gym have a crack at them.
Time back on.
A few changes for Gymnasium. Van Zyl on for Verleerden. In the front row, they need that. They've been battling in the scrum.
Bind. Sit.
Perfect timing to get a new front ranker on to try to steady things up. And they do win their own ball this time. 2 tight heads in this half, very disappointing. The chip over the top, they're going to run from deep. That almost bounced kindly for Janssen, but it will be a knock-on. And a scrum down to Paarl Roos, dead center on the 22-meter line.
Yeah, lovely little option there from Janssen. Just getting the chip on. It was adjudged to have been a knock on the air, might have just come off his arm. And that's their first handling error, which is really impressive from Paarl Gymnasium.
That is unbelievable. 10 minutes left to go in the game. That is the first handling error.
Bind. Sit.
This is crunch time for Paarl Gym. They need to hold up in the scrum. That's come back out the mouth. We will play on though. And Paarl Gym benefit from that decision. This is Tian Swanepoel. The pick and go at high speed. Advantage being played to Paarl Gym. To the outside they go. They have certainly been woken up by that try that they conceded. They continue to trail by 7 here in the second half. We are into the final 10 minutes of this match. 2 unbeaten sides taking each other on here at the Jan Kriel Field at Paarl Gymnasium. Bobby Alexander to the left once more. That ball has been spilled by Charles Janssen. And Paarl Roos, the advantage for the penalty was long over, and it is a scrum down to the men in maroon.
Yeah, and hasn't Paarl Roos' defense just been outstanding this afternoon? Been really good. Every time Paarl Gym just get going, they get the ball stolen from them because they haven't had too many handling errors. That might be the second one for them this afternoon. So it just shows how good the defense has been and how good the guys on the ground have been to steal the ball.
Bind. Sit.
An emphatic call of set from referee Schwartz. And Paarl Roos do secure their own ball. The scrum has been exemplary here in the second half. Buerta, he gives it off to Kate Voliter. Good chase from Remy Engelbrecht, putting pressure on Tian Swanepoel. Has that been knocked into touch, or will it be a line out?
Captain.
Yeah, it will be a line out for Paarl Gymnasium. Clever play again from Paarl Roos with the lead, just playing the territory game, getting the ball down there. And in playing that, it was still a 50-50. Could have easily bounced up for Remy Engelbrecht.
4 in.
And it comes once again from Delaray now. This time it's come the side of Paarl Roos. Now back onto the attack. Things are falling apart for Paarl Gym late in this match. And should Paarl Roos capitalize on this opportunity, that should be the game. And that is not the game, because Paarl Gym have come up trumps once more in defense. And Bobby Alexander, the live wire, he wants to run it right from his own try line. Brought down on the 22-meter line. Paarl Gym have enough players there to support, but do they have enough to stop this counterattack? They've tossed it back in desperation. And they're putting themselves in some serious trouble with some loose play. Charles Janssen forced to deal with defenders and go to ground. Bobby Alexander, back it goes, a loose pass again. And man has to turn and kick as Stefan du Toit. It has fallen into the hands of Remy Engelbrecht, the man who let that try out there moments ago. The chip is too short. Well claimed, the mark not called for by captain of Paarl Gym, David Kellerman. And they continue to run it from depth. Paarl, Janssen.
No advantage playing the man in there.
High tackle was called for that challenge. Did look a bit energetic, so to speak, Butch.
Yeah, it was definitely a high tackle around the neck. Good feet. I think it's Tian Swanepoel with the carry. And yeah, definitely a high tackle. Maybe lucky to not get anything a little bit worse. It was Tian Pretorius on Swanepoel.
If things go wrong in that tackle, then you are bringing a player's head down to the ground with force. It's a good thing that it ended the way it did. Paarl still have a mountain on their hands they want to overcome in this game. 7 points they trail by. Delaray now. His accuracy at the lineout has been par excellence, and Bobby Alexander spreads it to the back line. Paarl really having to bring all of the initiative to this match late on, and they have done so very well. Another good run from Siebert. He's been an excellent replacement for his brother. And they are charging again through Jovan Becker. Alexander continues to provide the quick ball that Paarl need. He's ready to go and protect the ruck as well when need be, as you saw. Cutting back in is David Kellerman. Have not seen enough of him with ball in hand today, and this appears to be a turnover for Paul Roos once more. Brendan Fenter spreads it wide through the hands of Mostert, muscling up to the contact, and Remy Engelbrecht, he looks for space on the outside. Engelbrecht, he's around his man, he's got the pace, he's in the corner.
Yeah, and the old boys are on the field, they're going crazy. How to make up for a mistake, Remy Engelbrecht. Brilliant individual try from him. He had the try line, open try line in front of him earlier on, and where he knocked the ball on. Now he had lots to do, and didn't he just do it really well? Remy Engelbrecht, what a try. One he'll remember for a long time to come, that's for sure. Wasn't much going on. Brushing off Jacobs, who's been outstanding for Paarl Gymnasium. Probably the first tackle he's missed all afternoon. Great stuff from Engelbrecht. And he knows that he's got Volhuter kicking for goal, so he didn't even bother going under the poles. He knows from the sideline, no problem.
That's very true. They need to start putting challenges out for Kate Volhuter. What a young talent this man is. So many in both of these sides. And Tian Swanepoel, you're right, Butch, who's played so well today. His decision-making from the back, whenever he's received the ball from a kick, has been superb. He knows when to kick, he knows when to run. But he unfortunately got rounded by Remy Engelbrecht there, the impressive athlete in the 14 jersey for the men in maroon. Volhuter, no way. Yes! Yes, it is. Once again, from the touchline, Kate Volhuter.
Yeah, he can't do anything wrong. Look, he didn't strike that nearly as well as he would have liked to. But even when you're striking them badly, they're going through. That's when you're doing well. Look at that, Engelbrecht. Around Jacobs, around Swanepoel. And plenty of pace to get him to the end. Great stuff from him.
What do you think the Blitzboks think about that kind of play?
No, he'll be getting a phone call tonight, that's for sure.
The kickoff is high and hanging, and Paarl Roos now enjoy a 14-point lead in their derby match. They have lost the last 3 encounters against Paarl Gym, but they look to have finally overcome that hoodoo and secured something here, but they are not done running the ball. Mostert looked for the inside pass. It was a good dish, but Daniel Swart could not put his hands on it, and Paarl Gym will have an opportunity, less than 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, it's Mostert. Probably the first gap he hasn't got through this afternoon. He's been outstanding for Paarl Roos. Just not able to get through the defense that time. Well, it's now or never for Paarl Gymnasium. Just over 2 minutes to go. So they'll need a try here.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Paul Roos scrum has been dominant in the second half. It's shifting up front there, but Paarl Gym have done well enough. No, they have not. It's come back for a third tight head. Unbelievable, but it's Tiaan Pretorius on the outside now. He puts out the palm. He's in for the try.
Yeah, and it's Tiaan Pretorius who does get the try, but you can put that try down to the pack of forwards again. Paarl Roos with another tight head. That's the finish. Brilliant swan dive. And unfortunately, this scoreline isn't going to reflect how close this game has been. It's been really close. It was a brilliant offload by Juan Mostert to send his winger flying over the try line.
What a game of rugby we have witnessed here today at the Jan Kriel Field at Paarl Gymnasium in Paarl. What a beautiful city and what a beautiful game of rugby both of these two sides play. We came into this match with both of these sides unbeaten this year. Two of the best sides in the country, but we will be leaving with only one of them having their unbeaten record intact, and that is Paarl Roos with 2 late tries stretching this lead out. And this is Kate Voliter. Well,
30 seconds now.
I don't want to put the curse on him, Butch, but you could bet your house on him putting this one over the bar.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Voliter.
No.
Well, I do apologize to the young
No,
man.
well, we were right in line with that. And let me tell you, that was shaving the left hand upright. Look at that from Mostert. Brilliant stuff from him, drawing in the 2 defenders of Paarl Gymnasium. And Swanepoel with plenty of pace. So, yes. Sorry, it was Pretorius, plenty of pace to get the final try there.
Paarl Roos are still not done. I think that's Mink Sharinko, Henry Jacobs raising knees in the midst of the contact there. Paarl Roos continues. Mostert, he's really started activating his elusive running here in the second half. And Paarl Roos with all the initiative. Paarl Gym defenders retreating and not fast enough. Brendan Venter.
Release tackler.
He's able to tidy things up and present ball back for Zander Botha. Henry Jacobs tries to find a supporting man in Herman Haynes, but it's a forward pass. 70 minutes have elapsed on our clock, but not on that of referee Nathan Schwartz. So the hurt will continue for Paarl Gym, who are about to lose this encounter for the first time in 4 years, and just the 4th time since the year 2000.
Yeah, it's just a forward pass from Henry Jacobs. He must be up there competing for man of the match. He's been outstanding. That's probably his first mistake.
Yeah.
Time is up, but we're getting the call that there is 1 minute to go from the referee. We do have a running clock on the screen. It's probably when Nathan Schwartz did stop the clock just to have a chat to the 2 captains.
On the other right now has made his way off the field. We have Liam Compion on at hooker for Paarl Gym and Cade Croy on at wing for Paarl Roos. Everybody wants to get a taste of this match.
Bind. Sit.
Paarl Gym to feed a number of tight heads already in this half, but that one does not go that way. And Paarl Gym unable to hold on to the ball. Is that their captain, their hero, and their talisman, David Kellerman? And that says everything you need to know about how the passion has left these Paarl Gym boys, as those tries really bury them late on in the match. The knock-on comes eventually, and surely now referee Nathan Schwartz is going to blow the final whistle. He has not had enough. There's still time left on his watch, and his watch is the only timekeeper that matters.
Yeah, I think these old boys have had enough. They want the ref to blow that whistle.
They're probably watching on the DSTV now.
There's no gap. Can you just get the
They
gap
can see
again
that the
on
clock has elapsed.
Yeah, they're lining up, getting ready to storm the field and storm these players that have done them so proud.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Willem van Niekerk is the replacement scrum half for Paarl Gym. As you can see, the scrum has continued to dominate. shouted out for the scrum to stop Nathan Schwartz.
No,
The
I went too
referee,
far.
you can only drive 1.5 meters at schoolboy level, and they did pass that mark. But the dominance of the Paarl Roos scrum has been one of the main factors that has seen them into this handsome lead in the second half. That is a crunching hit. Tireless play from Paarl Roos. Of course, they will have been lifted by the fact that they are about to win this match, while Paarl Gym are fighting for a consolation right now. And they just cannot get their backline going. It's the second time they've had to try to have their right wing wrap around to no avail. And Jacobs, who had such a brilliant first half, tries to evade a number of tacklers. But eventually, he is bundled into touch. And that is the final whistle on this Premier Interschools clash, the 4th of 2018, which has seen Paarl Roos overcome a 3-year hoodoo to finally beat Paarl Gym right here in their home ground in Paarl. And as you can see, the old boys are over the moon with the way that things have gone. A couple of late tries flattering Paarl Roos, but they did work for those. They were magnificent in the second half. 4 tries to 1. Paarl Roos beat Paarl Gym 32 points to 13.